The result of the elections in Italy on the 21st of February is a big political shock in the Eurozone. The rejection by a large fraction of the electorate of, let's say, mainstream economic policies is triggering a debate on austerity throughout Europe. So today we are debating the consequences. This is something on which at Bruegel we want to contribute to this discussion because it's a very important discussion for the future of the euro area. So the elections in Italy were widely interpreted as a referendum on austerity. Maybe this is not entirely correct. There are certainly genuinely Italian political dimensions. But I think there is a message to Europe about the reaction to the fiscal consolidation policies, to the reform policies that are being implemented. And I think it should trigger a discussion on whether the policy focus, the policy rhythm is appropriate, or whether some changes have to be discussed. I don't think there is any option for Europe just to reverse course and to move from austerity to stimulus. I mean, this is not an option, especially for countries where debt sustainability problems are very serious, competitiveness problems are very serious. But that doesn't mean that nothing can be done. And I think that's a discussion that should start in Europe. Let's say in the official circle, that the first reaction have been very defensive. We have to stick to what we were committed to, and there is no room for any adjustment.
No, I think I agree with you, Jean. We need a completely new debate about this, and I'm very glad that we have this new debate. And I fully agree with you that it's probably not a good idea to reverse the course and now start in a large stimulus in the south of Europe. My sense is if we were to do this, for example, in Italy, there could be negative market reactions. I think in a sense, we see already now some market reactions. Now this may be related to other factors, but I think it is also related to doubt in the markets about whether the budget balance will actually be kept. Now, having said this, I think the message is clear that the south of Europe needs support. I mean, that's I think the central message. And I do think that we need to reconsider how to organize this support, and there needs to be support from the outside coming to Italy and also to Spain to some extent. Now
before we speak of support, I would say, in terms of the policies that are being implemented, I would say first there is a question of how fast consolidation should take place. I think there was some sort of a rush with the idea that it had to be given the priority. And again, I mean, there's the lessons from the US when they gave more priority to the private economy, to repairing the private economy, to cleaning up the banking system, and postpone somehow the fiscal adjustment is a lesson also to be discussed. So the question of rhythm, and in this respect, the new treaty, the fiscal treaty, I think provides a good benchmark because it's all formulated in structural terms. There are no headline targets, it's a way to commit over the medium term, to accept that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and this marathon there are different steps, and so you can commit in the medium term. Second, I would say too much of the focus was on adjusting and not enough on the quality of the adjustment. So which spending you cut, which taxes you raise, how you raise taxes, whether you take the time to do tax reform, etc. Third point is the balance between the fiscal and the non-fiscal, all the structural reform, etc. Somehow in Italy, what we saw was a government that put a lot of emphasis on the fiscal adjustment, then on product market reform, a little bit less political capital was available, and then for labor market reform, again, less political capital. So this sort of pecking order of priorities may not be the best one.
No, I agree with you, and let me perhaps add one important dimension. It's the overall macroeconomic stance of the Eurozone. I think clearly the Eurozone as a whole has a restrictive macroeconomic stance at the moment, and that raises the question about the role of Germany in the whole debate. Now, my sense here is that Germany probably needs to do more to counteract the very restrictive environment. The question is, what is the best mechanism for doing more? And basically, I see 2-3 different mechanisms. One mechanism is providing support to the south, which I think will be a very direct mechanism, but also, of course, politically.
Transfers.
Well, you can think of this in terms of subsidizing credit to corporations via loans given to the EIB, for example. I mean, this would be, I think, a very powerful mechanism to trigger investment in the south of Europe and help corporations that are starved of credit to actually grow again. The second, I think, is German wages. I think that we have to have a stronger debate about German wages. While German wages have been growing slightly above Eurozone average, it's still very, very low and quite subdued. So I think we need to move on the wages in Germany. The third point is about fiscal stimulus in Germany itself. I think this is politically very difficult to agree on because it's basically already, we have already full employment in Germany. So it's, it's not going to be easy to get the support, the political support.
It would be basically asking the Bundestag to do an inflationary budget, because if Germany is close to full employment and you add a stimulus, that means more inflation. So one thing is to say, if it's a private development, if wages increase a little bit more, Germany should accept that, provided price stability is kept at euro area level. But another thing would be to tell Germany, do a stimulus knowing that the consequences would be inflation. I don't see the Bundestag doing it. I mean, and I don't think, it would be wise to recommend this kind of policy.